In 1998, a man walked into the Haven County Sheriff's Office and confessed to a murder that no one knew had happened. 2 hours later, police found a body that matched his description, and DNA evidence that said he was lying. They believed the science. They always did, until the science lied. Haven County, Virginia. A farming town with 14,000 people and one small crime lab that hadn't seen a homicide in nearly a decade. On July 3, 1998, a local schoolteacher named Lena Hayes was reported missing. She was 32, quiet, known for keeping a notebook of her students' handwriting samples, a quirky habit she said helped her spot forged notes from parents. 3 days later, her car was discovered by the riverbank. In the trunk lay a broken watch, mud, and one single hair. That hair would change everything. Technicians ran the sample through the state's new forensic database, part of the National CODIS rollout. Within hours, the computer returned a match. Darius Reed, 29 years old, a mechanic from 2 towns over, recently paroled for burglary. The sheriff didn't hesitate. He called it modern-day justice. Within 48 hours, Darius Reed was in handcuffs, the hair held up like a trophy of scientific proof. The prosecutor's opening line was simple: DNA doesn't lie. They showed charts, genetic ladders, and shimmering chromatograph lines that the jury barely understood. But they understood certainty. Lena's mother wept when the results were read. The defense argued cross-contamination, but the lab technicians swore every protocol had been followed. The verdict came in 4 hours. Guilty. Life without parole. For 4 years, no one questioned the conviction, until an intern at the Haven County Forensic Unit noticed something strange while updating the sample archive. The genetic profile from Lena's case had 2 separate barcodes. When she scanned both, they pointed to 2 different evidence boxes stored miles apart. One labeled Hayes crime scene, the other training sample, synthetic control. The match that convicted Darius Reed wasn't from a crime scene at all. It was a lab test strand used to calibrate the machines. The DNA had lied. When the intern reported the discrepancy, her supervisor told her to recheck the logs. By the next week, the evidence barcode had been deleted from the database. She took photographs and sent them to a contact at the Innocence Project Mid-Atlantic. And that's when the story left the lab and entered the courtroom again. By 2004, DNA had become the gold standard. Entire convictions rested on it. To challenge that was professional suicide. But when attorney Ellen Meyer saw the photos, she called it the forensic equivalent of a blood type swap. Her team filed a motion for retrial. The state fought back, claiming the intern had mishandled digital records. No court wanted to believe that the database designed to prevent human error had created it. Yet truth has a way of bleeding through data. 1 month later, a separate case across the state reported identical anomalies, DNA matches to synthetic control samples used for machine calibration. Different lab, different crime, same error pattern. And suddenly, everyone wanted to know how many convictions were built on broken code.